It's time now for us to get in Mr. Sunil Gavaskar live from London in on what exactly we've seen on day 2 of the Oval Test. Mr. Gavaskar, thank you so much, sir, for joining us once again. Good to have you on the show. First up, finally some sort of a fight back that we witnessed from Team India today. Overall, what's your take, sir, on what you saw on day 2 at the Oval?
Yes, I think some is the operative word. It was some fight back, not the kind of fight back that would have helped India to get back in the game. They were listless for the post-tea session when they just looked as if they were going through the motions. So if they had continued as they had bowled and fielded in the post-lunch session, then maybe they would have been able to restrict England to a lead of maybe about 100, 150 or thereabouts. But now the match is completely out of their bag. If you have considered the lead of 230 odd and with 3 wickets in hand, I think they're looking at maybe a lead of about 270, maybe even more. So as far as I'm concerned, the series is effectively gone. Series is effectively lost.
All right, so what you're saying that Team India has effectively kissed their chances of levelling the series goodbye. Not very good news really for all Indian cricket fans. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. Gavaskar, this is something we've spoken about in the past as well. The slip fielding. Again, a couple of catches going down miserably in the slip cordon. That particular cordon continues to be a huge area of concern for Team India, doesn't it?
It is, because they're not prepared to learn. They're not prepared to learn from their previous experiences. I mean, if you just keep having a look at, when the bowler is running into bowl and you have a look at the slip fielders, then you know that, if catches coming fast, low towards their ankles or just in front of their boots, they are not going to be able to reach it.
Right now, it's no secret really, Mr. Gavaskar, that the team has been struggling overall in the entire series. It is a long test series, a 5-test series, and they've been found wanting on multiple occasions. But perhaps, would you say the most troubling thing is the fact that when it comes to the batting, the batsmen tend to be committing the same mistakes over and over again. They are not improving, something that we've seen the English batsmen do, but the Indians are not doing that.
Yes, they are committing the same mistakes. They're getting out in the same manner. They don't seem to have learned anything, which really is very, very sad. Because believe me, this is a team of talent. Some of the players in there are world-class players, but they have allowed the errors to creep into their game. Errors creep into everybody's games. It happens to the best of golfers, the best of tennis players, the best of cricketers. Errors do creep in. I think how you get over those errors, how you eliminate the errors is the important thing. And what it requires is great mental strength, which a certain Mahendra Singh Dhoni has. And because he has that mental strength, despite the fact that he might not be technically as good as some of the top order batsmen, he scores runs. Because he's got his own technique. He's very strong mentally. He doesn't get fazed by what is happening. He curbs his natural instincts and then plays according to the needs of the side. And I think that is what the top order has to do as well. If it means it's a 5-day test match, if it means that you are scoreless for a while the bowling is bowlers are fresh, the ball is hard and new, then you do that.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, you say that certain players in this particular setup, they are world-class players. That really brings me to my next question. There is a certain school of thought that's out there, sir, that this current Indian team perhaps is an average test team. Only when it comes to tests that they are average and below par. That they don't have it perhaps in them to win regularly abroad. What's your take on that, sir?
I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they have it in them to win regularly abroad. They might win the odd test, but if it's a 5-test series, because of the shortcomings that they have, batting-wise, fielding-wise, and bowling-wise, they will allow the opposition to get back. At home in India, because of the kind of pitches that are there, because of the comfort level that the players will feel playing at home, they will keep on winning matches. But overseas, I think they missed out on a great opportunity. They had taken the lead by beating England at Lord's, the home of English cricket, and they had to capitalize on it. But it's just that there are so many things, and I don't think we can actually talk about all those things in this sort of a program. There are so many things that need to be looked at, that need to be corrected, but I don't think it's going to happen in a short span of time.
Right, picking up from where you left off, sir, this entire performance of Team India over the 4.5 tests that we've seen so far has pretty much reignited the entire debate as to whether this team are once again lions at home and lambs abroad. Would you say that the critics who keep on saying that and keep on harping on that particular line perhaps might be right when it comes to at least this particular tour and this particular team?
Well, I guess they have a job to do, and their job is to comment on the performances of the players. And quite clearly, the performance of the players overseas has allowed them the liberty to call it that. But at least the Indians are lions at home and lambs abroad. When you see some of the critics, at home, when overseas journalists come. And overseas journalists take their regular place in the media box. They don't say a thing to them. They just accept it. And like a lot of them have the front row seats in the media boxes, but they don't say a thing to them. So at least as far as the players are concerned, they are lions at home. To the media, they're lambs at home and lambs abroad as well, because over here when they come, they don't get the best of seats. The best of seats are reserved for the English journos.
Right, that's a very interesting comment that you made, sir. We'll of course keep that one in mind. Now, one thing that everyone is talking about at this point in time, again, the one man who finds himself pretty much in the eye of the storm is the captain MS Dhoni. Lots of talk about his overall captaincy. He was, of course, the only one who stood tall amidst the ruins in the first innings at the Oval with the bat. But when it comes to his captaincy, someone like a Martin Crowe has gone on record saying that perhaps MS Dhoni does not take test match cricket very seriously, that perhaps he doesn't like playing test. What's your call on that? Is that a fair assessment, really?
Well, I normally don't like commenting on other people's comments, because everybody is entitled to their view, and you've got to respect that in a democracy there will be voices which are not in agreement with you. So that's fine. But that assumption that MSD is not interested in Test cricket is completely and totally wrong. I think he's interested in whatever format that India plays. He's interested in doing well for India. He's interested in winning matches for India, and he's done India. He's got lots of trophies for India. So and he's also got, under his captaincy, India was the #1 team in Test cricket as well. So I think to assume that he is not interested in Test cricket is not being fair to a man who served Indian cricket, in a gallant manner, in a swashbuckling manner when needed, and has brought many a smile to Indian cricket fans' faces. So I think we should be able to look back and think about that before we pass hasty judgments on MSD.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, one final question, sir, before we let you go. Now, as you've mentioned earlier on the show, the team has pretty much kissed the series goodbye. They're going to lose the series. How big a blow do you think psychologically it's going to be for the players, especially in a year when we also have a big tour of Australia lined up at the end of the year?
Well, it's going to be a huge blow. I think, if it's, well, look, I don't think you can make too many changes in this current lot, because by the time the Indian first class season starts, it'll be time to go to Australia. And we really mustn't go by what happens in India in the Test series. I think we should be mentally prepared for a drubbing in Australia as well, because maybe our bowlers will bowl well, maybe our bowlers will be able to restrict the Australians to 230, 300 maybe, but I don't think we've got the batting that will take on Australia and last 5 days.